insane.
What does that mean? Free or fight only way?
I'll look it up.
Free.
I don't know if he's tweeting, but
Free or fight, or free and fight is the only way. And my understanding of that is either to be free of the relationship or fight for it. And positive relatedness with Amber through dash vulnerability.
Did and 1/8/15 was the last time you saw or spoke to Mr. Depp as a patient, correct?
I believe that's true.
Did Mr. Depp describe to you at all how
he doesn't have anything about
his
this
jealousy would present itself, whether he was jealous of a man or a woman in relation to Amber?
Good God.
It would make him angry. It would make him feel insecure.
Oh my Lord!
That's what a waste.
I'm 52 years old, and that is the worst testimony I've ever seen in any case anywhere ever. Right there.
Will you please state
Oh, okay. Some testimony related to the op-ed.
your name for the record?
Sure. Eric George, E-R-I-C. Last name is George, G-E-O-R-G-E.
And could you also state your business address, please?
Sure. 2121.
This is max headroom here.
Suite 2800, Los Angeles, California, 90067.
And what is the name of the law firm that you work with?
I can't believe it's a law firm.
B-R-O-W-N-E, George, Ross, O'Brien, Anagway, and Ellis.
And you are an attorney, Mr. George?
I am.
And I take it from the name of the firm that you are one of the main partners?
I am indeed.
Okay. What are your areas of practice?
Litigation, largely in the business and entertainment areas.
Have you handled defamation and libel matters?
I have.
Where are you barred? In other words, what states are you a member of the bar?
Sure. In California, New York, and Washington, D.C.
And are you also a member or barred in the United States Supreme Court?
I am.
Can you please tell us where you attended undergraduate and law school?
Sure. At Georgetown for both undergrad and law school.
What, if any, service did you have with the Council of the United States Senate Judiciary Committee?
Sure. I'm just pausing to get my dates correct here. In approximately March of 1999, I began service as counsel to the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee, where I served through about mid-2000.
And what, if any, service did you have to the Secretary, the Legal Affairs Secretary to the Governor, Pete Wilson?
Sure.
Take from the rich, give to me.
About March 1997 to January of 1999,
He's communicating to us in Morse code through his eye blinks to please save him.
Was Deputy Legal Affairs
Being held at gunpoint. They've
Have
denied him access to brownies.
For your career achievement since you have been an attorney?
I'll say immodestly, yes. Various ways that lawyers are from time to time in magazines and publications and whatnot.
And what, if any, recognition have you received as one of the top 100 attorneys in California?
He paid for the quarter-page ad in the Legal 500 for California.
Attorneys in California, and I've been fortunate to be selected as one of those for many years.
And what, if any, recognition have you had as being a super lawyer in
Oh,
California?
Jesus.
Literally a
Same
paid ad.
answer, except that's, I believe it's called Los Angeles Lawyer Magazine. I could have that wrong, but again,
I bet he got a
annually,
plaque with it,
list of
too.
Super lawyers.
All right. And are you also a member of the American College of Trial Lawyers?
I am.
What
In Utah, that's a
what is
checkbox on your
what
bar
is
application.
one of the
renewal
qualifications for becoming a member, being invited to be a fellow
hope they
of
ask
the
how much
American
you pay for
College of
super
Trial
lawyer.
Lawyers?
Yeah.
Sure. So the college reaches out to individual lawyers who have distinguished themselves and generally occupy the top 1% of law practice. And it's an organization dedicated to the development of professionalism within the practice of law.
I'm going to now turn to Amber Heard, and I'm going to ask you, Mr. George, how long have you known Amber Heard?
Too long.
I have known Amber Heard, gosh, it's got to be a good 5 years.
I'm going to be referring to an op-ed, and I'm going to use the term op-ed. It's obviously an opinion editorial that Amber Heard ended up ultimately publishing with the ACLU. And so in the Washington Post.
If he's one of the top 1% trial lawyers in America, why do I have a better audio
so
video
as
system
I
than
go
him?
through and ask these questions, I'm going to be using just the term op-ed.
It's a good
Would you
question.
be comfortable with
They're going to
me
try and have
using
this guy just
op-ed and
establish that it's
understand it
not
to mean
defamatory due
that
to his
particular
expertise as a
publication
defamation lawyer.
on December 18, 2018.
Sure.
So what, if any, legal representation did you provide to Ms. Heard relating to the op-ed?
She presented to me a
Was he the guy that
draft of
reviewed
the
the
op-ed
op-ed?
and asked for my counsel in terms of reviewing it, editing it, and finalizing it for publication.
Oh, so he's going
It's
to
this
say,
guy's
When
fault
is
we're
the
here
first
right
time
now.
Amber Heard
Yeah.
reached out to you in connection with the op-ed and reviewing
we
the
totally
op-ed?
didn't defame him because I
It was
told her
certainly
that it didn't.
within the time frame of December 6, 2018.
Mind if I do?
In connection with the op-ed, what, if anything, was your objective in representing Amber Heard with respect to the review and revision of the op-ed?
I can do this.
I reviewed it and spent some significant time on it to make sure that there would be no meritorious claim that could be brought against her in connection with a defamation or related type of tort claim.
Well, you failed there,
And
buddy.
ideally, with that in mind, to minimize the possibility of her ever being sued in connection with publishing it.
Failure rate 100%.
Mr. George, I'm going to ask you to take a look at exhibit number 9.
Yes,
Are you familiar with this document?
I am.
Please describe what it is.
As its title, it's a judgment of dissolution of the marriage between Amber Heard and Mr. Depp.
Were you familiar with this document and its contents when you represented Amber Heard relating to the review of the op-ed?
Yes.
And what was your objective in representing and advising Amber Heard on the op-ed in connection with this stipulated judgment of dissolution of marriage?
So my objective was to make sure that there would be no meritorious claim that could be brought against Ms. Heard in connection with the publication of an op-ed, whether that is a tort related to, say, defamation or something akin to it, but also including any contract-based breach claim arising in connection with the judgment.
Like, you are exactly right.
And
That's
what, if
exactly what
any-
he's arguing. It wasn't defamation because I made sure it wasn't
What,
defamation.
if any, indications did
Yep.
you have from Amber Heard during that time frame that Amber did not intend to follow your advice or did not care if she was in a compromising position or might be at legal risk?
Man, I'm good.
So let me answer that this way. Really 2 points. Number one, there was never anything that she said to me
Man, I love this boy.
to the effect that she was willing to run some risk of being sued, or that she wouldn't listen to my counsel or anything of that sort. Number two, that she affirmatively did follow in all instances my counsel with respect to these particular edits.
There's some theory
What,
of
if any,
defamation
legal
in
advice
some
provided by
jurisdictions
you to Amber
that
Heard
if you
respecting the
rely
Washington
on
Post op-ed
competent
was
counsel, you
disregarded?
can't be guilty
None,
of
to my
defamation
knowledge.
What, if any, legal advice
or something.
provided by you to Amber Heard
That's
respecting the
sparking
Washington
something
Post
way back in like
op-ed
law school brain memory
was
thing, but you might be
followed
right.
by Amber Heard?
All of it.
What, if any, legal advice did you provide to Amber Heard in connection with the drafting and publication of the op-ed that was not made in good faith by you?
I acted in good faith throughout and with the best of my abilities.
Next witness. Yes, Reverend, we have Jessica Kovacevic. She's Amber's agent, and that's approximately 27 minutes.
How do you spell the last name for me?
27 more minutes.
Kovace.
It's now officially light outside over here in Korea.
Nice.
Oh my god. This vocal fries twin.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kovacevic. And Ms. Kovacevic, you know that you were here today in your personal capacity and also as a representative of your agency, WME.
I do.
Ms. Kovacevic, what do you do for work?
I'm a talent agent.
Would you please describe in just very general terms what a
Try and
talent
tone down that
agent
hiss
does?
a bit. Oh.
Yeah, I was just turning down my own headphones. That hurts.
For your clients, you make introductions, you read their scripts, you negotiate their deals.
And I take it Ms. Heard is one of your clients.
Yes.
Did Ms. Heard have a successful career
No.
at the time you began working with her?
Yes.
And over the period that you've worked with Ms. Heard as her agent, what have your job responsibilities entailed?
Like I mentioned before, introducing her to producers and directors, writers, studio executives, procuring work for her, introducing her to people that can employ her, and then negotiating her deals, and then dealing with whatever happens on while she is working, anything that
She's
arises.
here to testify
needs
that she just couldn't
dealing
get
with.
Amber a job
Did
after
you ever,
the
at
defamation.
any point in time, see Mr. Depp hit Ms. Heard?
No.
No.
Were you working with Ms. Heard when she was cast in the original Aquaman?
She was cast in Justice League first, and then the deal was to be in Justice League, the first Aquaman and the second Aquaman.
Did you assist Ms. Heard in procuring the role of Mira in Aquaman?
Yes.
Was Aquaman a successful movie?
No, Ms. Heard said she did that
Extremely.
on her own.
She auditioned.
Was Ms. Heard's performance in the film well received critically?
No.
Yes.
Were there any negative views about Ms. Heard's performance in Aquaman?
In the press, you mean? Or what do you mean specifically?
Well, in the press or otherwise.
No, there weren't any negative.
Because nobody knew it was her.
Talent agent, did you attempt to renegotiate Ms. Heard's salary for Aquaman 2?
Who wants a taste of progress?
Yes.
When did you do that?
We did that around this time last year.
Why did you attempt to renegotiate it at all?
Scientific misconduct.
It's standard to renegotiate these types of deals. It's normal practice. When when Aquaman came out, it was the most successful movie of all time ever. So even more so for that reason. But for any successful franchise movie, when you make a 3 or 4 picture deal like we did in success, it's typical to go back and renegotiate the deal.
And now getting to your point, why did you choose to do it last year at this time?
Because that's when her option was exercised.
And when you did get around to trying to negotiate, you and WME successful in doing that?
Correct.
When did he call Warner Brothers to renegotiate the next film?
It would have been the end of February last year.
What year is that? 2021?
Yes.
At some point,
that was last year.
Were there press reports that Ms. Heard was getting released from Aquaman 2?
There were online rumors for a while that she was being replaced.
When did you first hear about those?
First, I don't know exactly when, but it was way before. It was way before this. It was maybe even a year before this. 6 months before, maybe.
So nobody ever told you that Warner Brothers misrepresented the reason that they were replacing Ms. Heard, correct?
Why? No, why would they?
Did there come a time when Ms. Heard was restored to her role in Aquaman 2?
Yes.
At that time, what were the terms of her restoration to Aquaman 2?
Watch out.
The financial terms?
Yes.
She was going to be making $2 million on the second film.
Was that consistent with the original contract?
Yes.
Is this consistent with what Warner Brothers originally gave as the rationale for not using her in Aquaman 2?
The lack of chemistry between her and Jason?
Yes.
Yes.
So did there come a time when WME came to understand that Ms. Heard's role as Mira in Aquaman 2 was diminished in some way?
When she was sent the script, she was sent the script directly, which is the common practice for these films.
You're aware that Ms. Heard has a contract with L'Oreal, correct?
Yes.
Were you working with Ms. Heard when she signed that contract?
Yes.
What's a bot?
A bot is a fake account that's created to execute a certain objective.
What is your educational background since high school?
College.
What college did you attend?
NYU.
What year did you graduate?
2005.
What was your major?
Communications.
When WME first began working with Ms. Heard as her talent agent, you said she had had some success. How well known was Ms. Heard?
She was pretty famous. She was within the industry. You could call anyone and they knew who she was. So she had a certain level of fame. She had starred in movies and shows already by that point.
Going back and taking a wider lens, over the time that the several years you've worked with
The
Ms.
reviews
Heard,
of her performance
how
are
would you
actually not good. I've been
characterize
reading
the
them.
arc of her career.
Did people in Hollywood know her because she was Amber Heard or because she was Johnny Depp's wife?
She was a known actress when I started working with her. She was someone that you could call executives and producers and people about everyone, knew her name. She hadn't yet reached big star status, but she was definitely, she could get the lead of an independent movie. She could get the lead of a TV series.
I could get the lead of an independent.
When I worked with her, we slowly started to strategically, have her work on some more prestigious projects and work with, better directors. And then when she got Justice League, that was a, turning point for her. And then Aquaman, subsequently was obviously the biggest thing she had ever been a part of.
Is the
I
arc
can't
of
wait
her
to read
career
this line
now
about
on the
Aquaman.
upswing with her
Oh, I'm waiting.
being part of Aquaman 2?
A 1, a 2, a 3.
No.
Tell me what you
Of course I'm ready.
mean. Why not?
Because typically, when you have an actor who is in a movie as successful as Aquaman was, their career totally changes, and they're in a different echelon. They, get way more offers. They're just put in a different place, position-wise with studios. They're more bankable, so they can greenlight projects. All of those kind of things are consistent with when you're in a blockbuster of that size. And with her, that did not happen.
Why?
It happened, very significantly for her co-star. Obviously, he's the lead of the film and he's the title character, but even a small percentage of that did not happen for her. So that's my assessment.
What evidence sitting here today do you have that this caused her career any harm?
Because evidence in that, in my experience and the experience of my colleagues in the experience of this business, your career takes a turn after something like that. She was very well received in the movie at the time. Everyone was very happy with her at the time. There was no issues. And then to have
I don't know if you live in reality.
downturn after that, and then have that
You appear to beg to differ with her
constant
assessment of
tweets
Amber
and
Heard's acting
negativity
abilities.
put out about her. I don't have a physical piece of paper of evidence, but it's the only logical conclusion I can draw.
It's the only logical
Can you
conclusion is that
name the
anybody
single
in
role
any
she has
blockbuster
lost as a
automatically
result
succeeds?
Of any activity by Adam Waldman or anyone at his behest?
No.
There was a movie at Amazon that she had been offered with Gael Garcia Bernal. I don't know what the final title of it is called now. I can look it up. It had a working title at the time. That they took away from her, and the lead actor who was a producer on it very much wanted it to be her and was very frustrated with the process. And no one can say out loud, we're taking this away from her because of this bad press, because it's nothing she did, and it's all hearsay, and it's all whatever, but there's no other reason.
Now, Ms. Kovacevic, you've testified a bit about Adam Waldman, correct?
Correct.
And can you point us to any career opportunities that Ms. Heard has lost because of any statements made by Mr. Waldman?
I mean, the Amazon movie, for one, is one that is tangible, because that
Is it tangible? What
is an example of
statement?
something that she had before all of it that was then taken away. I know that a campaign she shot for Todd's via Katie Slater was scrapped and not used. There was not another specific example, because, like I said
She's
to
supposed
you,
to be one of the biggest
no
stars
one
ever. Where are all the opportunities
is going to
that
say to
she's
me,
getting
"Oh,
and
we
losing?
can't hire her because of these tweets or whatever." They just don't want to hire someone that has
This testimony's terrible for
bad
Amber
press
Heard,
around
by the
them
way.
from
Extremely.
these accusations. No one wants someone who's being accused of a liar and making something up and abusing somebody. No one wants that association with their project.
Directing your attention 10 pages into the article, there's another quote from Mr. Waldman. Mr. Waldman states in this article, quote, "Quite simply, this was an ambush.
Blah, blah, abuse.
Set
Blah,
Mr.
blah,
Depp
blah.
up by
Where did
calling
that
the
come
cops,
from?
but the first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their stories straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
It just shows the top part of that on this page, but the top part was correct.
Okay. Did any potential, was WME aware of Adam's statement, Mr. Waldman's statements in this particular article?
Yes.
Now, you testified a little bit earlier about there being tweets from Adam, and I assume you were referring to Adam Waldman. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what, if any, impact did it have on Amber Heard's career and career path to have Mr. Depp's lawyer putting out statements in the press and in tweets that Amber Heard was lying, making things up, creating a hoax of abuse?
I think that his comments spurred on, it just added fuel to the fire. So there was already so much media coverage.
And that's what you observed?
That's what I observed.
I'm going to take you to Aquaman, and I'll call it Aquaman.
You didn't observe it. You said that's what I think a second ago.
To understand, what, if any, performance issues were raised with Amber Heard by anyone that was responsible for the filming of Aquaman?
Where's the after party?
No performance issues raised whatsoever.
And what was your understanding of how Amber tested with the audiences in Aquaman?
My understanding was that she tested extremely well.
And this is an Aquaman. Has reflected all. In light of the success of Aquaman, would you expect that Amber Heard would be receiving endorsements as of this time?
Yes.
And what is the typical process that happens after someone has starred in a very successful movie such as Aquaman and Amber with Mira?
The endorsement department would a combination of offers and then seeking out opportunities.
Now, given Amber's career trajectory leading up to and immediately after the success of Aquaman 1, did you expect her career to go on an upward, downward trajectory, or stay the same?
I expected an upward trajectory.
And why is that?
Because in success of a film like that, it's usually always the case.
And immediately after the successes of Aquaman, would you have expected Amber's annual earnings to increase, decrease, or stay the same compared to the previous 5 years?
I would have expected them to increase.
And why is that?
Man, I'm good.
Because her profile had been raised internationally. She was in a movie that was successful worldwide. And when you are in a movie that performs that well worldwide, your bankability is stronger. You can finance an independent film more easily. You can greenlight a film more easily. You can just do more and for more money.
Do you recall what the budget was for Aquaman?
The first one? I don't know. It would have been probably somewhere between 150 and 200 million.
Immediately after the success of Aquaman, would you have expected Ms. Heard to continue to earn at least the fee she made on Aquaman on future big budget studio firms, or less or more?
That becomes an actor's quote, their fee. Yes, typically, like, you will then earn your, not on a tiny independent film, you can make that much money on that, but another studio film, another film at a streamer or whatever, something like that, you would make that much or potentially get a raise.
Time-traveling genius punk buddy.
Other than Aquaman 2, has Amber obtained any roles with a budget the size of Aquaman's?
No.
Has she been hired for any films with budgets over 100 million?
No.
Immediately after the success of Aquaman, would you expect the success of Aquaman and her starring role in that film to increase her ability to get more movie studios to be interested in her, decrease, or stay the same?
Increase.
And did it?
No.
Would you expect her
I'd fire you
to get more TV roles?
Objection.
Yeah. And why?
Why? Because I mentioned earlier in the conversation, TV and films are so blended now, and there's much less of a delineation between picking projects between film and TV.
Remember that cocaine talk with Legal Minds?
Did Amber receive more TV roles as a result of Aquaman, the success of Aquaman?
No.
Of course I'm ready.
Immediately after the success of Aquaman, would you have expected Amber to star in more than one project per year, less?
The difference in damage.
It depends.
Testimony
if it was a big,
astounding.
Aquaman takes up 6 months of the year.
Johnny Depp,
big movies take up longer time. Indies, you can do
that was then
a couple of them a year. It just depends. So I
with the
wouldn't
dollar amount.
put a number on it, but definitely more than 0.
Here they're testing. She
And
should
has
have
Amber
gotten
started more
something
than one
sometime.
project per year since then?
She just literally testified the damages were
Immediately after
more
the
than
success
0.
of Aquaman, did you expect Amber to earn between $5 and $10 million a year for the next 5 years?
Anticipatory
I
damages,
would expect it to
expected
renegotiate
losses are
on
so hard to
Aquaman
prove.
2, most certainly.
If you've got a contract and
and
it's gone, it's gone.
So right there, that would have been significantly more, and she would have, yes, I would have expected her to earn more in a combination of TV, film, and more endorsements.
Was it your understanding that WME passed on to L'Oreal suggestions to assist them in being able to block some of the harassing Instagrams they were getting at that time?
Yes.
All right. Let's bring up 30 again, please. Now, did in fact L'Oreal suspend having Amber Heard on the International Women's Day campaign?
Yes.
What the conditions were for the renewal?
It was just essentially that they were renewing her. It was the same fee. That was the bulk of it. It wasn't, like a raise, but they were extending her.
Okay. And typically coming out of the success of Aquaman, would you have anticipated that Amber could have negotiated larger fees for commercial? Okay. And why would that be?
Because her profile had been raised. She was, she had done something super successful. So typically that's what you would do. That would just be the standard practice.
When did you first learn about the change.org petition that was out there to try to get Amber Heard dropped from Aquaman 2?
I don't know when I first saw it.
Were you aware of it as of May 27, 2020?
Yes.
You earlier talked about bots in response to one of Mr. Chu's questions. What, if anything, was your understanding of these bots at this time, during this time frame?
My understanding is just based off my own, mainly based off my own.
A bot is whatever you
research, just
perceive to
clicking
be
on
negative.
that, and then discussing it amongst the team.
I decided they were bots because I didn't like what they said.
Just as I would go through, daily, just looking at comments or, just the negative comments. Clicking on them, many of them were just kind of accounts made for this kind of commentary, or just accounts that just had, no followers, no posts, nothing, or following just.
And I'm sorry. And so what did you learned from clicking onto those that led you to believe they were bots?
They weren't consistent with what I know to be actual Instagram accounts.
When you look to set a career trajectory
I would have objected to
for
all
an
this.
actor
She's
who
definitely
just
not an
broke out in
expert
a
on
major
this,
franchise
qualified
film,
in any
would you
way.
look
Clearly.
to other comparable actors' careers to ascertain what type of acting jobs they could get?
Mostly.
I mean, I've been doing this job for, quite some time, so I don't necessarily look to one or the other, but in general, when someone is in, what was at the time the most successful film ever released, the natural progression is growth and more films, more work, more money, all of that stuff.
And when you say the most successful film ever, you're referring to Aquaman 1, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Are comparable actor salaries used in your mind to ascertain the asking price for an actor in a similar film? Are comparable actor salaries used in your mind to ascertain the asking price for an actor in a similar film?
Yes.
Would you consider Ana de Armas' career to be comparable to Amber's in measuring where Amber would have been?
No, Ana de Armas is way
Aquaman
hotter.
1?
And Ana de Armas, yes, I would say that would be a comparable. That would be a good comp.
I'd rather see Ana de Armas in any movie than Amber Heard.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Is that what you have for today?
That's it.
Okay.
You can't outrun me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our day and the end of our week.
Well, there's the answer to that
you
question.
have a good 3 days. We come back for our last week of testimony and enjoy your weekend. I just want to remind you again.
Judge. Let's get those times.
What we need to remember as we go through the weekend, okay? So you're not to read anything about this case. You're not to watch anything about this case. You're not to listen to anything about the case. This applies to television, newspapers, magazines, the internet, and any online sites. Further, you're not to read, watch, or listen to anything about this case on any social media networking site or streaming service. In addition, you must not communicate with anyone about the case, whether in person, over the phone, by email, text, or instant messaging, or by any other electronic or non-electronic means. This includes your fellow jurors, friends, family, co-workers, acquaintances, and strangers. I also instruct you that you cannot do any research or make inquiries about this case, whether online or by any other means. For example, you cannot look information up on the internet that is related to this case.
Always trust your spirit.
For justice, for democracy.
Peace begins within. We'll bring peace to Ionia, whatever the cost.
Charge!
Peace has its cost.
I won't stand by.
How y'all doing tonight?
A clear mind knows true strength.
My shield is yours.
Ours is the will of Ionia.
Hardened scales.
Security!
Shield up! These are my streets. I'll stop you! Real good to see you.
My friends.
New tech, new tricks, new day, new Zon. Just out of reach. Took a few timelines, but you're okay now, right?
Be at peace.
You're covered!
This is my future.
Honor guide me.
Act with conviction.
My deed is done.
Look within.
How long was I out for?
Imagination is not experience, and instinct is no substitute for planning.
We must make our own path.
To battle.
That's always been there. Rewind!
Ready yourself.
I hope this works.
We will not stand by.
A 1, a 2, a 3.
Justice!
You cannot win.
For king and country!
Surprise, surprise.
I'm awake. Must be some magic about.
Nuh-uh.
Hold fast!
Will help?
Stay resolute! Looks like fun. Back to sleep.
You started your training early. War does that.
Voices howl from the mountains.
Even at war, you remain so calm.
Would panicking help, brother?
The dragon will keep you safe.
The dragon remembers.
I stand ready.